Hello, Julian. I'd like to start off by saying thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule for this interview and also sharing your personal success story with everyone here today.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's start things off. Could you tell us a bit more about yourself and also what's your current role with MPC?
My name is Julien. I'm 25 years old. I live in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I'm currently working at MPC as a character animator
Great. And how long have you been a character animator?
since January 2014, so I'm going on to my second year.
That's excellent, and congratulations as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Now maybe you could share with us what are some of the high-profile projects that you've had the privilege of working on so far?
So far, I've basically since I was in MPC, I worked on one movie that's out in the theater, which was Cinderella, and it's been out like not so long ago. I think like 2 weeks.
Very cool. I'm sure that was a lot of fun as well. Well, are you able to share with us what role you had with the project?
I worked mainly on the mice. So Gus, Jacqueline, Esau, and Jacob, which were their name. I worked on a couple of transformation shots also in the movie. To whomever seen the movie, it's basically like a spoiler alert, but we all know the Cinderella story. So, but it's the transformation sequence. So there's like a goose, and yeah, of course the mice turning into a horse. And a couple of bluebirds, but it was mainly like small animals in that movie because Cinderella wasn't really a big, heavy effects movie. They wanted to keep it a Disney classic, and Kenneth Branagh was the director, and he's a very Shakespearean type of director, so he likes subtlety more than extravaganza like Michael Bay.
Well, you mentioned from a very young age you knew that you enjoyed animation. So, after finishing high school, what steps did you take towards becoming an animator?
So when I finished high school, I went to as I said, to CEGEP, which is kind of specific to Quebec in Canada. When you graduate from grade 5, you go to CEGEP, and then you have a choice between going to like a 2-year program that branches off to university, or do a 3-year program, which is depending on whatever school CEGEP you're applying to, has a 3-year program of a specific job. And lucky for me, and well, Montreal is kind of a big place for 3D animation because we had a big video game industry already going on.
Mhm.
A lot of CJEP were offering 3D animation programs, so that's what I did.
That's great that you pursued things right away. So, now can you share some of the milestones, turning points in your life that you feel helped you get to where you are today?
For this TV show called Éduquer à la Flaque, which was cartoon satire of politics, news stuff on a weekly basis. So every week it would be a show with jokes from what happened during the week. So we had a very, very tight deadline. So this job at the CBC really helped me out with that. I had this sort of plan of like, okay, I'm working there and half of my salary, I'm putting it aside. I'm going to save up for animation mentor afterwards. When I had enough money for it, then I said goodbye to Éduquer la Flaque, and I started my 1-year program at Animation Mentor. And then, lucky for me, while biking in Montreal, I stumbled upon another guy that he graduated a while ago, and he was starting to talk about, well, there's MPC Frame Store, they're all opening in Montreal right now, so I suggest you to just drop your demo reel there and just hope for the best. And that's what I did, and then there we go. I got a job at the MPC.
So, Julian, now going through this experience, getting to where you are today, looking back, would you have done anything differently? Do you have any advice for attendees, maybe something that would help to speed up their success?
Maybe like do a little more research earlier to know where to go. Started researching earlier, probably I'd seen more options. I don't recall if there was that much options yet in 2007 for like online schools, but I feel like nowadays, like you got like iAnimate and all those other schools.
Well, now you have some great experience as far as the training that you went through, also a few studios that you worked at before you worked with MPC. So for the audience here today, do you have any advice, lessons that you learned with this education or this path that you've had so far?
Yeah, well, first things first, never be afraid to show your demo reel, because let's face it, you won't get a job if you're always trying to like nitpick everything on your demo reel and actually never showing it to anyone. Of course, don't show it prematurely either. Make sure that like the shots that you're showing, you're proud of them, but never hesitate, never be afraid of like sending your demo reel to anyone. Don't be afraid of like, oh, what if like, I don't know what he's going to think about it. I mean, this is how we get jobs in the creative business, is you always have to be like, go head first and just like give it all your best and just show your thing and don't be afraid of it.
Great advice. Well, as a final question, Julien, do you have any additional advice or tips that you'd like to give to the beginners and aspiring professionals here with us today that you think would help with their success?
I got a couple, but my main thing is, as I said, with the 3D animation at the beginning, when you're working on the computer, I know me personally, when I started doing 3D animation, it was really, really like mind-blowing. Like, oh, there's way too much stuff. Graph editor, what the heck is this? But give it some time and always stick to your basics. Like 3D animation is not that different from 2D animation. It has the same fundamentals. It's the same process. Like you do pose to pose, you do your main poses, your main keys, and then you just break them down and then break them down again. That's my personal opinion of, I don't really like going straightforward in my work. I don't like doing my stuff and letting the computer do its own thing and then keep on going. No, like you're the master of this shot. It's not the computer. The computer's just doing what you're saying. So yeah, that's my beginner's advice. The other advice for more advanced animators is, as I said, get yourself some contacts. Like go on forums, like animation forums, animation communities. If there's any animation events, CTN, I've been there once 2 years ago, and that's a great place to get like connections, showing your demo reel. I can't even like. You really have to go there. I mean, like, I met Glenn Keane over there, which for me personally is like the god of animation. So like, it's a really good place to have connections. But in this industry, like, connection is very, very important. Especially since in those events like CTN, it's people worldwide, right? So if you can't find a job in your city, don't be afraid to like look out, like look elsewhere, look in Canada, look in India, look in London. There's like so many studios, and if you have those connections from around the world, if that's the case, well, they're going to help you out for sure.
Very good. Well, I think that's some great advice for both beginners, aspiring professionals here today. And once again, I want to thank you, Julien, for taking the time and meeting with me here and kind of going through some of these questions. And I think the group that we have with us will really appreciate this information as well. So thanks, Julien.
Yeah, keep up the good work, guys.